G'day, it's Blister Guy, and this is Mercenaries Combat. With traditional Hearthstone battlegrounds, we're used to minions bumping into each other over and over. But with Mercenaries, each Merc has multiple abilities, and the key to mastering it is...
timing.
That's right. Also, that's my cue to let you know that like a mercenary, I was hired to make this video by Blizzard. A mercenary's got to pay the bills, you know. In some ways, it's still similar to traditional Hearthstone and battlegrounds. When a Merc attacks another Merc, it deals damage equal to its attack stat, and receives damage equal to the enemy's attack. Some Mercs have spells too, and with those they get to throw them from a distance, dealing damage to the enemy and not taking any themselves in return. Each turn, abilities happen from the lowest speed number on each side of the board to the highest speed number. For example, Cariel Roam's Taunt ability has a speed of 1, so it's almost always going to go off first in any turn where you use it. Cariel gaining Taunt means any Mercs using physical attacks have to attack Cariel before they can attack anyone else. Tyranda's Arcane Salvo is speed 5, so it'll happen after Cariel's Taunt in any turn where they both use those abilities. Whereas Zyrella's Atonement is speed 9, so it's going to be waiting very patiently to happen well after most other moves have packed up and gone home. But this isn't always a bad thing. Some moves work better later in the turn than others. Grommash Hellscream's Blood Fervor is speed 8, but it has Deathblow gain some attack. Deathblow means if this move knocks out the Merc it was used on, you get the bonus. So Grommash getting to attack after everyone else means the Deathblow is more likely to go off. See? Upside. When selecting your moves each turn, the game offers you the moves of the Merc on your left first and lets you work your way across to the right. You don't actually need to select your moves in that order. You can set the middle one first, and then the right one, and then the left one if you like. One of the most important things to keep in mind when choosing which ability to use, or which Merc to deploy even, is the critical damage matrix triangle circle thingy. Protectors deal double damage to fighters, fighters deal double damage to casters, and coming back around, casters deal double damage to protectors. The fun part is trying to remember that order. For casters against protectors, water is blue and fire is red, so blue casters being good against red protectors makes sense, because water is good against fire. For protectors against fighters, red is fire and green is like plants and stuff, and like last time I checked, plants aren't big fans of being on fire. And I think plants like to drink a lot of water, maybe? And the plants are all like, I drink your water, I drink it up. Alright, so that's probably the worst Daniel Day-Lewis impersonation ever laid down on tape, but at least I know how the critical damage thing works now. Once you're in game, when you're choosing which Merc to use, the game shows you which roles are weak to others by highlighting your potential targets like this. This helps you decide where to focus your attention from turn to turn. Can you single out a particular enemy and take it out in one go? Great! When choosing your moves, you can see which moves the enemy are going to use and how fast they are. So if you time your moves right, you could take out an enemy before they even get to act. Now this is where getting your timing right really pays off. Abilities with the keyword combo. This is Scab's Cutter Butter. Scabs' first ability is Tactical Strike, and it has combo. To get the combo active, you need to have a different Merc use their ability first. If you do, then Tactical Strike is combo active and it will deal additional damage. There are spell schools with combo as well. This is Baron Geddon. Geddon's second ability is Inferno. If fire combo is active, it deals damage across the board a second time. To get fire combo active, you need to have a different Merc do a fire ability first, and then sit back and watch the fireworks. When trying to set up combos, there's something they don't tell you in the tutorial. They specifically tell you the opposite even. Combat resolves based on speed order. Lower speed abilities go first. Speed ties are random. Record scratch. Speed ties are only random between you and your opponent. Your own speed ties are determined by the order in which you queue up the abilities. Scab's Cutterbutter and Millhouse Mindstorm both have abilities that are speed 4. If I queue Scabs' Tactical Strike first, then combo will not be active. But if I queue Millhouse's Arcane Explosion first, then combo will be active on Tactical Strike and will deal additional damage. Pew pew, stab stab. You can also change the order or target once you've queued it up if you've made a mistake, by clicking the move again to unqueue it and then queuing it up again, and now it'll be going second.
Job's done.
Magma Blast lasts, so it sets off the living bomb. Being able to intentionally set up these combos is the secret to Mercenaries Combat. Actually, while we're at it, the other thing they don't tell you in the tutorial is that you can have a Merc elect not to do its move for the turn, if you like. You'll be surprised how much that comes up actually. Maybe you don't want to send a Merc to their death against a taunt, or maybe you don't want to tap a bunch of times when one tap will do to finish off an opponent. Another keyword abilities can have is spell damage. For example, Tamsin Rome's third ability, Veil of Shadows, gives you additional shadow spell damage. This buff applies to all of your mercs, and persists from turn to turn, so you can stack up the buff, allowing your other mercs to deal increasing amounts of shadow damage. Similar to spell damage, there's also spell weakness and spell resistance, and they work much how you'd expect them to. Weakness means a merc takes increased damage to that spell school by that amount, and spell resistance means they take less damage from that school. Some abilities have cooldowns. Traditionally, a cooldown means you have to wait a turn or two before you can use the ability again. In Mercenaries, it also means the number of turns you need to wait before you can use it for the first time. For example, Millhouse Mindstorm's third ability, Greater Arcane Missiles, has a cooldown of 2, which means you need to wait 2 turns before you can play it the first time, and then 2 more turns before you can play it again. The good news is that the cooldown clock is ticking, even for mercs on the bench. That means once your front line starts to peel away, you can have some cooldown abilities ready to go the minute they join the fray. And the last thing we'll look at today is the most dangerous of all, speed modifiers. Varden Dawngrasp was relatively underappreciated when Mercenaries launched, until people discovered the power of spamming Flurry every turn. At speed 5, Flurry is not exactly slow or fast, but most importantly, it makes your opponent's mercs slower, which in turn makes not only Flurry effectively faster, but also the rest of your mercs too. So when your mercs are faster than your opponent's, you're going to get to strike first turn after turn. And when it's coming down to the wire, you want to be the one getting the knockout blow to prevent them from attacking back. Something to look out for is when you can use your speed slowing abilities to disrupt your opponent. Abilities like Brukan's Muddy Footing slow the next move the target uses. If you can time it right, you could prevent your opponent getting their deadly combos online by slowing down the enabler. Your opponent's trying to power up their Baron Geddon with Antonidas? Not today, Tony. So to recap on the key things you need to know to succeed at Mercenaries Combat, the various speeds of your abilities is important, and when they're the same speed, you get to decide which order they go off in. Try to get your opening ability to enable combo on the abilities that follow. If you can disrupt your opponent's gameplay by slowing down their key combo enablers, do it. If you've found this video helpful, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. In the next video, I'll be focusing on building a team for a new player that'll help you clear those bounties and level up the rest of your mercs. So don't forget to have notifications on so you get notified when the video goes live. Until then, you're all absolute legends, and I love you all.
Enjoy this spark of victory, mortal!